I'm positive for other people. Many blessings and happy Sunday, everyone. I know some of you have already been kind of like watching the live because the live went on a little sooner than the audio. Now, I want to go ahead and say welcome to the Sunday Refresher. If you don't know who I am already, I am Reiku, people at Black Heart. Can't say my name today. And I told you guys you were going to hear the raw, uncut, unapologetically me version of my podcast, which is going to be every last Sunday of every single month, where we're going to sit down. We're going to have a Sunday refresher after the month of detoxing and talking about energy and protecting yourself, as well as different taboos in our society. Now, I did give people opportunity to go ahead and ask me some questions, as well as to go ahead and listen to the actual podcast throughout the month and tell me their thoughts, reviews, and everything. I actually got a lot of good feedback for the long distance relationship podcast episodes for both the female and male perspectives, which was the last two episodes. If you haven't checked them out already, it is on Spotify and Spotify and YouTube for sure. iTunes, we've still been having an issue finding an image large enough to put it on iTunes. And the closest we get is some of my modeling photos, but I don't want certain model photos to be the image behind my podcast. And I am a cute face and people know me for my model photos, but I don't want them to associate the podcast fully with the modeling, because that I want them to be two separate entities from each other. Now, this entire month was just about protecting yourself before the holiday depression was coming into effect, and different aspects of having long distance relationships. And the biggest feedback that I've gotten was when it came down to long distance relationships is to actually have another story or have another episode contributing on a different aspect of long distance relationships, and bring back the two lovely people who I had interview, which was Miss Julia and my friend Zebula, or Zeb, I call him. I've known him for like years, and that is like the biggest support I've had. Almost 8, 9 years at this point, and I commend him, and he's an amazing person. He actually bought me a face hugger for Christmas, and I appreciate him for that. So he was actually part of the reason I started this journey on protecting my energy. Like, he knew, for me being an empath and being a person who is deep in my emotions, and regardless of what people do to me, I'm still going to be like, hey, it's all right. I'm fine. I mean, I'm bleeding out my side. My kidneys and my intestines are like falling out, but I'm going to still, patch you up before patching myself up. So he actually helped me started this energy on protecting my energy, and making sure that, I took care of myself first. Like, he told me, like, I can't stop you from being a healer. I can't stop you from wanting to help people, but in order for you to help other people, you really need to protect yourself. And I mean, he's right. I mean, how else am I expecting to heal other people if I can't heal myself? So I started this journey about a year ago, and I fully removed some of the restrictions, um, which was causing me some issues from fully healing around April. And I've been doing a lot better. I mean, honestly, don't get me wrong, I still have some minor anxieties and stuff like that. And I still have some moments where I don't get enough time to recharge. But it is a problem when you're an empath. It's a lot harder to recharge than it is any other time. Especially when your friends always following you and relying on you. And that's part of the reason why I started the podcast, so I can go ahead and be able to help other people and get them there. So I'm hoping my podcast reach some people, because I'm still going through the journey. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying, I have everything figured out, because I don't. I mean, I've only been going on this journey a little over a year. And I've learned a lot of things from other people's experiences and my experience, and living as a black sheep in my family, and surviving abuse. So it's one of those things where I'm one of those people, like, you would never know I went through a traumatic background, because when most people see people who has grown up in an abusive background, they tend to, be on drugs, they tend to be on the streets, they tend to struggle. Little small telltales, be in bad relationships, things of that nature, find love in all the wrong places. I decided not to be a stereotype. Like, I've always been one of those inquisitive minds that always question things, and always said that I did not want to be what society wanted me to be. Um, Honestly, for me, I made that decision at a young age. I grew up young. I was protecting someone who, as I don't know if you guys saw a post I posted a while back, if you're on my IG, where we have a habit of protecting our abusers. Those who are in abusive situations, we protect our abusers. And I did that from a young age on. And I defended this person. And I started with cutting them off and loving them from afar. And that's ultimately what started this journey of protecting my energy, because as long as they had that power over me, I wasn't going to get anywhere. I wasn't going to be able to move. It was like literally they were having a chain on me and I couldn't do nothing. So now I'm protecting my energy. I'm helping other people get to where they need to get to. And I'm a lot better for it. And a lot of people who's known me for years see the growth. So I'm wanting to help other people, because if you have something that can help others succeed, why would you be selfish and hide it? Why would you be selfish and not share it with other people? If you have something to give to the world that is beneficial, that can help the world a better place, or help people overcome a bad situation, now would be that time to go ahead and share it. So that's the reason why my podcast is very important to me, because me being a person who has PTSD, because unfortunately I still have PTSD from the abuse, anxiety and bipolar depression, as well as health issues, I've been struggling to find like ways to survive. And I found one that works for me. Now, it may not work for someone else, but it may help them find something that may help them. Um, and then a lot of it has to do with taking back control of yourself and taking back control of your energy, because guess what? Energy cannot be destroyed. It could just be transferred. And, you know, you just got to figure out how to manage it. So enough about me. And what made me do what I'm doing now. I am very happy. This is now episode 6 of the podcast, and it is the live one. So I'm very, very happy to have a few people sitting here and watching and enjoying and actually learning, hopefully, or taking away from this situation, because a lot of people don't realize you can actually learn something. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing you're learning. It's not necessarily mean that it's a complete bad thing, but you're learning something. You could take something away from other people. And I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of people don't realize that. And I got that from my dad. My dad actually brought it to my attention. He's like, you can learn a lot from other people, whether it's, somebody who's racist, whether it's somebody who is, at a different situation, a different age. You could always learn something from someone else. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have more knowledge than you. They just have different experiences, and you can learn from other people's experiences what not to do and what to avoid and how to overcome. A lot of people don't realize that with life, if we repeat the same habit over and over and over again and expect something different, it's just a form of insanity. So we can learn from other people who went through similar experiences, see where they failed, and see where their problem were, and how you can technically succeed from it. I've had a lot of bad things that happened in my life, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's just a bad experience. You could just take that experience and learn from it. It made me more diligent and pay attention to signs. It's made me more cautious and made me more, okay, so if I'm seeing this, this may possibly be the outcome, then it's a better way to protect myself when it does blow up, or if it does happen to come back in my face. So you can always learn something. So I'm hoping you guys learn something from me, or learn something from the people that I bring on these shows. Um, one of the major things about energy, and the reason why I'm so focused on it, is what I went into the new year last year. I told myself, if not now, then when? If I'm going to sit here and say I'm going to do something, why do I have to wait into the new year to do it? Why do I have to wait into the next month or the next week to do it? If I can't do it now, then what is the purpose of having that dream? Because I made the joke with my family quite a few times that I would come up with ideas for something, and when I didn't put it into motion, a couple months later or a year later, somebody used that same idea that I had. I had an idea for a game, where basically it was a drinking game involving also, singing and things of that nature, where you would use a word. And this was like a year and a half ago, almost a year, where basically we'll sit here and come up with a word, and then you have to sing a song involving the word. And if you couldn't come up with a good song, or if you couldn't bring a song into the mix, then you would have to drink. Now there's multiple games like that out in the world and out in the universe. So instead of me using the energy and that thought that came to my head, it left and went to someone else. And now somebody is profiting off of something that I thought of years ago. And I could have just taken the time at that time to make it happen. So like I said, energy is one of those tricky things, and your thoughts are energy. So when you sit here and you think of something, or you come up with an idea, and if you don't act upon that idea at that time, and you like, dang, I had a great idea and I can't remember where it went, guess what? That energy has now been transferred to someone else who's going to use it. You no longer have that thought. So I was what made me come to that conclusion, which is funny. I don't know if you guys remember old comedy group Dormtainment. Dormtainment had a podcast. Cam and Rome from Dormtainment, they have their own podcast, and they were talking about energy and talking about how if you don't use it, it gets transferred to someone else. So that's what I was like, that makes a lot of sense, because if I came up with a thought, an idea, a lyric, a poem, or something of that nature, and I don't use it, now it's gone. Now somebody else is using it. And then you hear that, or you come up and you look at it later, and somebody else is saying those words or using that idea. And now you're like, okay, cool. I wasn't aware that those things were going on. And you were like, I could have used this. Now they're profiting off of an idea that I had months ago. How did they get my idea? How did they pick that from my brain? And it's not even that they picked it from your brain. It's more or less that you didn't use that energy, and now somebody else has it. You transfer that energy to someone else. It happens. It really does. It's literally a cause and effect in our lives, that if we don't use the energy, it goes somewhere else. So you have to protect your energy. You have to protect yourself. And energy comes in different forms and in different variations. And you as a person, you create energy. Me being a person that I am, I'm a spiritualist. So I believe in a lot of, whatever you put into the world, you receive. So if you put out positive energy, you're going to receive the positive energy. If you put out negative energy, you're going to receive negative energy. You are still conducting some way of giving people. That's the reason why when certain people are around certain people, they feel joy or they feel depression. It's because it's the energy they're letting off. So I'm sorry to a lot of my Christian friends who are probably going to be like, whatever word are you talking about? That's God. That's, God telling you a sign, da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, whatever floats your boat helps you sleep at night. I'm not trying to tell you anything different. Whatever helps you understand and rack your brain about how things work in the world. I feel like hold on to that. That's what you should do. So that's the reason why I take myself as a spiritualist and feel like you should always be around certain people who have positive energy, and your body will tell you honestly if somebody's more of a leech to you or somebody who is actually a battery towards you. Is this person benefiting you, or is this person, hindering you? Your body gives you the signs because you are a conductor of energy. You take and receive. And if something is toxic for you, if somebody's energy is toxic to you, your body will tell you. If they're letting off, that's the reason why you get those gut feelings. That's the reason why, because your energy is being transferred. And a lot of people don't look at it that way. But I mean, that's the best way for me to analyze it. It's the best way to make sense of it to me. So same with like when you're in relationships, like when a lot of people don't realize that you could tell when somebody's energy's off. You could tell when somebody's doing something different or something else of that nature because you're used to a certain energy being let off and then their energy change. So it is one of those things. So, but we have to protect our energy, protect who you are. And with our generation, we have so much energy to give. We have so much energy that we need to protect. We have so much energy that is being wasted. And I'm really, really gun ho. Like, I'm not saying it's everybody in our generation, but most people in our generation, they have so much energy, so much potential, and so much that they can do with what they have, and they're wasting it. And a lot of it, I feel like, as well, is because we are a lot more sensitive and we're a lot more afraid. And then there's some of us who are not afraid and have a lot of energy, and we have that drive, that determination to do things. And I'm one of those people, like when I have my heart set on something, I got to do it. And I don't procrastinate, I don't put things to the side. But we have a lot of people who are sensitive to a lot of things out there in the world, and you just have to know what your limitations are and what you're willing to do. But if you want to do something, you have to step out of those comfort zones. And a lot of us are too afraid to step out of those comfort zones and open up and have that energy released and do what we need to go ahead and do. So a lot when it comes down to our generation, they're in a way protecting their energy, but they're also hindering their energy. So it's like, in order for your energy to grow, you do have to open up a little bit. You have to release that energy. You have to be able to sit here and be like, okay, well, I want to become a rapper. I want to, I want to do something. But then they're so preserved in themselves, in a way they're being, introverted and protecting themselves or protecting what their body, their energy and everything else like that. It's kind of hard to get out of that space. Hey guys, I see you in here joining in, and I'm like trying to still stay focused and not go off in a tangent, which I already did. Too late. My sister agreed. Mm-mm-mm. But I was just talking about energy. So I'm talking about the same subject. Even if I'm going off on a tangent, I'm still talking about the same subject. So can't be mad at me. Ha. But yeah, like if you want to sit here and be a rapper, or if you want to do something and you, in a way, you hinder yourself, you put restrictions on your energy, you put restrictions on yourself. So you're telling yourself, man, maybe I'm not going to be good at it. Sometimes you got to put yourself out there to take those L's, to take those shots. And I understand we are so sensitive to things that we want to protect ourselves. Stop. If you want to do it, do it. Take the chance. You are literally going to get shot down a lot. And in order for you to succeed in a lot of things, you have to put in the energy. You have to take the risk. You have to take the chances. Because at the end of the day, in order for you to succeed, you have to fail. I can fail this podcast tomorrow, and I may not get a lot of people to watch it. I may not get a lot of people to tune in. I may not get any of these people that I've supported to share it, but you know what? I didn't fail in a way. I took it as a learning experience and be like, okay, cool. I'm going to just figure out how to do it better. I'm going to, instead of allowing my energy to go and lose the momentum, I'm going to reanalyze, I'm going to recharge, I'm going to attack it a different way versus allowing myself to get consumed with negative energy. Oh, not enough people are looking at it, and turn my positive energy into a negative one. Be like, oh, nobody wants to tune in. Nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's interacting. But what good would that do? It's not going to do any good. Now I done created this whole podcast and then gave up on it because nobody, wanted to pay attention. But in all actuality, I got to keep tackling. I don't want nobody else to take this idea, to take this thought, to take this energy. There's plenty of other people out there doing podcasts, yes, but this is mine and I'm going to own it. Failure and all, it's mine. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep being driven. I'm going to keep being determined. This is my baby. I'm not just going to let it go off into the wind. And I see that a lot in a lot of the people I look into, a lot of the people I support, a lot of the people that I see that drive, that determination, that beautiful spark of energy, no matter what life is throwing at them, like all that negative energy that be thrown at them, and they still have that driving force and their beacon of light and ball of energy regardless. And I see that a lot in like Jasmine Denise, my photographer. I see that a lot in Renee Onyx from OA Radio. Like a lot of these women who influence me and drive me to be a better person and drive me to not give up and drive me to use my energy in a positive light and keep going. And a lot of them, they're just like, you're right, you got to protect yourself. Regardless of what that energy is, you got to still focus your energy on what's important to you. And this, and my modeling and living and surviving and my goals drive my energy, and it's not going to deter my energy. So I learned to do things that I never did before, which was like say no, which was the hardest thing for me. Being a person that loves to help other people, I just did not know how to say no to people. And I learned how to say no. I learned how to go to social events, even if I'm an introvert, but I pace myself. What I do is if I have to get away from people versus completely just leaving the environment, I go outside, I take a breath, I breathe, recharge quickly, go back and market and do what I need to do. And I set healthy limitations. Like I don't let my extrovert friends, because I have a lot of extrovert friends who will sit here and be like, hey, bitch, come on, you haven't been out in 3 days, let's go. And I'm just like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. But I set up healthy boundaries like, hey, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, we can go out. Pick me one of those days. Like I've made compromises without allowing them just to show up. I didn't allow them to just come and disturb my energy and take away, because extroverts, they are too much for an introvert like myself sometimes. And like I feel comfortable talking to you guys like here face to face. So like I don't do large crowds. I don't do like elevators. So when I get crowded, I freak out a little bit. And my sister will tell you, we can be in an elevator and there'll be like 4 or 5 other people in there. And I'm just like, I need to not be here. This is not it. This is not what we're going to do. But I just kind of, put myself in a mental healthy space, so I preserve and protect my energy. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm crowded, I think of a happy thought. I put my energy into a happy thought and put it back in. So I'm like, no, you're not going to take this. You're not going to disturb me. When it came down to finding out I was an empath, like I've known it for years, but I never knew what it was. Like I always felt other people. I already knew what they felt like. And that's part of the reason I'm an introvert, because if I'm in a crowded room or if I'm at a party event and there's too many different levels of energy I'm feeding off of, it would drain me. being a beacon or a battery. Like when I'm around my friends, I can literally light up their life. But then when I'm around a group of people and a few of them are my friends, I tend to feed off a lot of their energy, but I don't get hype or match their energy a lot of the times. In some cases, it depends on who I'm with. And if I'm in like the environment that I'm around a couple people I'm cool with, but a bunch of other people I'm not cool with, I get drained. I'm still trying to recharge the person I'm here for, but at the same time, I'm getting drained from like all these new people because I don't know anything about them. And I'm just like down. So this entire month for me is about protecting energy, getting my goals set, doing what I need to do. And as we're going into the newer year, I am going to make sure that my goals are set the way they need to be set. When it comes down to making sure I protect and get everyone where they need to be. And I'm hoping with this podcast, people get something out of it. I am trying to not die here or lose you guys. That's on my video one because I am trying to grab something because it's not allowing me to touch things on my screen right now, which is kind of a pain in my backside and it's causing me some issues and I don't like it. Up. I'm having moments. Unapologetically me, guys. Hey, this is where we're at. I think I just lost my life on the video end. I think I did. Oh no. Oh no. DeFi lost it. That's hard. My screen's getting lifted. When I put my screen on here, it lifted. Shit. Okay. So, anywho, when it came down to everything, regardless of this lovely, lovely user error problem going on right now in my life, trying to make sure I don't have any more issues because you wanted to make sure I had issues for whatever the reason. Space case. I lost my train of thought, and I don't like that I lost my train of thought. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. It's all right. It's cool. It is cool. We are back somewhat. Protect your energy. Move away to the outside. Say no to drugs, kids. I'm joking. No, say no to being in bad environments if you're not okay being in an environment. It is okay. Set healthy limitations and humor your empathy needs. If you have any needs as an empath, you need to humor it and take in consideration. It is okay to back away. It is okay to say no. It is okay to make people upset because you need to protect yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And just remember that self love and self care is very, very important when it comes down to protecting your energy. And finding a happy place when it comes down to being in different environments. You always want to end up finding a happy place. Um, and try to reset yourself, ground yourself, especially when it comes down to being an empath. You don't want yourself to be in a predicament or in a situation where, you know, you are upset and because you're trying to help someone else. And being an empath, we typically want to end up helping a lot of people. That's the reason why, for me, the podcast is a safe place because I can sit here and help people without having to take on too much of a burden or too much of a headache. And Minister Walker says yes to Jesus. Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate, you saying yes to Jesus. um, I am definitely a spiritualist. I don't believe in one God. I believe that God is many. And at the end of the day, it could be who's to say that your God is the right God? For all you don't know. You don't know until you die. Unless you died and came back and you have pictures to prove it. Sorry. I believe in energy. I'm not a Scientologist, so don't say that either cuz what do they believe in? You don't even know, do you? You don't know either? Me neither. I don't know. I think it's something involving aliens. I mean, if you believe in aliens, that works too. But if you believe in God, that also works. If you believe in the flying spaghetti monster, congrats to him too. But more or less for me, I'm a spiritualist. I believe in whatever you put out is whatever you receive. I am godlike in my own particular way because I can create and destroy. And it is. I mean, a lot of people will disagree with me. And I just don't cast judgment on people because whatever you do is your prerogative, just as long as it doesn't involve me. As long as it does not hinder me in my growth and it is not toxic to me. I can care less what you do, care less who you hang out with, and things of that nature. And now I can wave to people. I wasn't able to do so before. So I'm really happy about that. That just made me happy because I don't know what happened earlier. Um, so, yeah, no, you have to believe in protecting your energy and self love. And remember that self love is the best love when it comes down to it, especially when it comes down to protecting yourself and who you are as a being. There's nothing wrong with taking some time for yourself and mentally getting yourself back in order or mentally putting yourself back in a reset mode and I do it quite often. I usually wait until the last feasible minute. So my resets are like 2, 3 days long, and people won't see me for like 2 to 3 days. And they're like, "Where did you disappear to?" I'm like, "Look, I had to recharge. There was too much going on." And it's like I will fall off the face of the earth. But that is my recharge period because I spend so much time recharging other people that even when I do start to recharge just a tad bit, people come back and like, "Hey, I need you. Hey, da da da." So now my battery is not even fully full, and it's like 3/4 of like full, and I'm starting to help other people, and I'm doing this, and then I go back and then go back here, and it's just like this. So I have to take 2 to 3 days just to get back to 100%, and it's not the healthiest route to go, and it's not the unhealthiest. It's whatever is going to be more feasible for you as a human. So nobody can tell you what your recharge period is except for you. Don't ever take on more than you can or want to. If your body is telling you you're tired, don't sit here and try to push through to try to help other people. There's nothing wrong. Now, if it's one of those situations where it's a life or death situation, I definitely suggest taking a little bit of that energy and helping. But if it's one of those situations where it can wait until tomorrow. Don't overexert yourself. Don't overdo yourself, and protect yourself. Now, enough about energy. I had a thing involving some of the questions involving long distance relationships, so it made me tackle it. Most of my relationships growing up as an adult, after I had a um, almost long stint in a relationship from 16 to like 20, 21 ish, um, was always long distance after. I spent a lot of my adult life in long distance relationships, so it made me um, have to reanalyze and retouch the subject because a lot of people now it's starting to seem like that's the norm. A lot of people are getting into long distance relationship, especially now that we are using social media to meet our partners. And usually, most of us are meeting people who are in different states or in different countries or in different areas. Not like hey, I'm a Nigerian prince who needs to get my money unlocked. I need you to send me $1 million for me to give you $3 million. It's not like that. Like people are legit are finding love. Like for me, I'm in Florida. Let's say I find love in, New York, or if I find love in California or Vegas, it's because social media has made it so easy for us to find people in other states, with our technology and everything else like that. So long distance relationship is becoming more of the norm. A lot of my friends and stuff like that, they are dating a lot of people who are in long distance relationships, or they're dating people who are in different cities and states. So it made me go ahead and tackle that. And me being a person who has anxiety, has depression, and at one point in time had very low self-esteem, it was doing long distance relationship. It was hard. I had to learn a lot of trial and error. I think I've had the total of 3, 4 long distance relationships. And then if you include my long distance relationship and then slash my marriage when he was in the military, um, that would be 5. And that was one of those things where it was like, okay, I kind of knew, the ends of the trades because that was like my last like real major long distance relationship. And now it's like I'm in a town where if like when I'm ready to start dating again or start seeing other people again, most of them are military. So it's one of those things where like I'm gonna probably be back at square one in a long distance relationship. And I tell people straight up, like when I have people approach me now, because they know I am, not with anyone. I tell them straight up, I'm like, look, I come with baggage. I come with problems. I have anxiety. I have depression. And if you are long distance and work in the industry that I work out in like my real life, um, a lot of people come and go. I'm in an industry where people are coming and going and coming and going and coming and going, whether it's for trips, whether it's for, vacations, things of that nature. Um, you typically meet a lot of people at where I'm at. And a lot of them are from different areas. So a lot of these people who are trying to talk to me are in different states. And I have to tell them, like, look, you don't want these problems. Not everybody is strong enough to deal with somebody with anxiety and depression, and realize that with long distance relationship, you got to put a little bit more communication into it. You got to put a little bit more effort. And then on top of having the anxiety and depression, now you got to put what you would normally put for a regular long distance relationship in times 2, because it's harder to deal with somebody who's an empath and has those other elements as well. It's not as cut and dry as just communicate, because there's going to be days that I'm like, I'm not going to want to talk to you because I don't want to put my problems on you because I'm having an anxiety attack and freaking out in the inside, but I know it's going to eat you up because you can't do nothing about it. So I tell people, like, long distance relationship is not for the weak. Long distance relationship is not for those who think, oh, I can make this work. I can make this happen. Long distance relationships take a lot of communication, takes a lot of, understanding. It takes a lot of self-love, understanding, as well as realizing at some point in time you have to meet up in the middle or meet up somewhere at the end. So that's the reason why I came up with the 2 episodes to do the long distance relationships, because not only have I had experiences with long distance relationships, but I know a lot of my friends now are having a lot to do with long distance relationships, especially a lot of the younger generations who are going into the military or joining the military or dating somebody in the military. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. And it's one of those things where when it comes down to females, we typically do a lot of things to get the person that we're dating, even if they're far away, their attention. We're not trying to do it as a, oh, we want everybody else's attention. No, we want yours. We know what we're doing. We're fully aware of what we're doing. But I have to tell people, like, you have to take in consideration that's what it is. Us as women, we need attention. Guys need attention too, but women need attention more. And some women, they want attention from other people. Me as a woman, I want attention, or I want the opinion of the person that I'm talking to. I could care less about everybody else's opinion. Like, I could have 20 of y'all on my IG right now like one of my photos and tell me how beautiful I am and how wonderful I am. But I'm looking past all those comments. The only person's comment I'm looking for is the person I'm talking to. And I'll be like, oh, he didn't look at it. And then I get real grimy with it and I send it directly to them. I'm like, look, you didn't look at this. I need you to pay attention to me, because I can care less about these other people. It's you I'm worried about. But like I said, I can speak on me. But typically with long distance relationships, it's hard. It's very hard. It's not easy on either end. It's not easy on the female end. It's not easy on the guy end. And I think later into the new year we might touch up on long distance relationships again. Probably a little bit further down. Right now we have already basically drawn up the schedule for next year up until like June, which January, um, going forward into what we're going to bring into the new year, we're going to do a whole month of new year, new me type podcast. So every week it's going to be a different subject. It's going to be talking about physical health, one week mental health, emotional and spiritual health. So every week in January, we're going to be talking about different things into the new year that people will be screaming and hollering for the new year, and about your body and listening to your body on all different levels, because your body is a full machine and it works on all different levels and all different planes. So are you listening to it? Are you paying attention to it? Your body knows something's wrong with you, but way before you know something's wrong with you. So you just have to pay attention. So a lot of January is going to be about that. February is going to be talking about, oh snap, you done failed your resolution. So here's what we're gonna do to get you back on track. And we're gonna talk about different things. So I mean, more or less, I'm super excited. I have so many different plans for this podcast, whether it fails or whether it, succeeds. We are going to get into the whole flow of things, and going forward, it's going to be a lot involving health and protecting your health and enjoying your health. So come January, my goals is definitely going to be talking about the new year, new me come January. And then February is going to be all about self-care and things of that nature. And then March, we're going to brush up on energy and talking more or less on the different levels of protecting your energy. So yeah, you guys heard me talk about energy and how you can't really destroy it. You could just transfer it and go in there. But we're gonna get all into March and talk more about energy at that time. And then April, we're gonna be talking about stigmas. Um, so being Afro goth and also a spiritualist and pagan, uh, in a Black family, a Black Christian family. We're going to talk a lot about stigmas, and we're going to talk about stigmas in religion, stigmas in different communities. We're going to talk about stigmas in sexuality, including talk about being poly, which is going to be fun, and things of that nature. So that's going to be fun. And May is going to brush into religion. Oh, we're going to get into a juicy, juicy conversation about religion and not letting anybody try to convert you, or finding your right path. Don't let anybody tell you what is the right path. You have to find it. So I'm really excited about May and June, and we're going to talk about the gay straight alliance. And, because, June is Pride Month. And so there's real fun there. I just got asked a question. And I just lost my life. But I will definitely at this point figure my life out and finish out the stories there. So I'm super excited about what the year is going to come into and what's going to come from the year. I want all of it to be a very eventful and fun year for those who are not aware. So we have like a lot of things coming out. So at this point, I think if I was to bring relationships or long distance relationships back into the mix, it would probably have to be like, I could probably do a few in April when it comes to stigmas. Well, no, it's technically now a norm, so I can't really do anything when it comes down to relationships. When it comes to stigma, it might just be one of those ones that's an open forum discussion. Probably at the end, like I said, at the end of the month, of every single month, we're going to end up doing a live video so you guys can be able to sit down, talk to me, recap, and figure out what's going on throughout the entire year and things of that nature. Well, not the year, but the entire month, and kind of go from there. So, like I said, what I could probably do is with the long distance relationship, try to talk and put it on the drawing board about adding another segment on long distance relationships later down the line, and kind of go from there. So I'm super excited to see what the year is going to bring. I'm super excited to see what things are going to come into the way. Now, I did give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions. And I'm sorry that the live video keeps coming and going and coming and going. But it's because I have people trying to send me messages individually as well as go through there. So I had somebody ask me to check out my music and let me know what you think. Now, this person, I'm going to probably pronounce their name wrong, but it's spelled Kaijucantdie. They had a really cool snippet of music on their timeline, which was pretty cool. And it made me want to listen to some more. It kind of had that like fresh kick to it and fresh feel to it. So I'm actually trying to see how that's going to end up going through and how that's going to work through. So I might follow this person if their music is what it is, and where it needs to be. So that's awesome. And let's see. What is my next planned trip? I'm looking at my manager. She don't know. Oh, right. So my next planned trip. Yeah. So my next planned trip, I am planning to be in Vegas in February for my birthday. I'm turning 29. So I decided I wanted to go to Vegas for a whole week. So my next planned trip is Vegas. And then I'm not doing anything until April, which April is going to be a fun month because we're going to be in the Caribbeans. And so all my episodes are going to be pre-recorded way beforehand, which is going to cause my manager to probably like hate me later in life. She's going to be like, I hate you so much. And already it's bad because it's like most of my episodes are already pre-recorded like way before Sunday. But like if I get this new opportunity, it's going to really be hard because I'm barely going to be home. So a lot of my videos and a lot of my podcasts are going to be either on the road or it's going to be like recorded like weeks in advance. And I mean like full blown spending a day recording like 2 or 3 episodes. And my manager might be like super pissed at me. She may not know it yet, but that might be the case. And her face just screams she's not happy of any of this. But yeah, we know I have are we still doing Japan? We're still doing Japan. Okay, so we have Vegas, Bahamas, Japan. Those are my trips next year. I might have some more in between trips. I think I might be making a trip to Baltimore. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out other places because people are not giving me suggestions. I posted up something not too long ago saying, where should I travel to and for what reason? And I said, if it's good food, and it has to be really good food, because if you sell me on like, hey, you need to come to Tennessee because we have these bomb chicken sandwiches, and then I try the chicken sandwich and I get mad, then we might have a discussion, because I hate trash food. And I would tell you, I would travel for some food in a heartbeat. And with where I work, I could easily just catch like a quick flight and be like, hey, I wanted to go to Philly for a Philly cheesesteak, and you guys had the best one, so talk to me. What's up? Food Network is my best friend, by the way. So I'm always down for trips. I'm always down. But Vegas is my next major trip. Happy 2020. Happy 2020. Oh, back to New York. Oh yeah. Why? Why I gotta be? See, look, I'm done with her. Ladies and gentlemen, the person who just commented is my manager and my sister, saying she takes control of my life because I fail as an adult a lot of the times. It cold. It was cold. Let's not do it during the winter again. We can do it again, not during. We can do summer, as long as it's a good Broadway out. We can do West Side Story is coming out. I want to go see West Side Story, and it's a whole black cast. Let's do it. Let's make this happen. Sorry, I got distracted. You're gonna be in Vegas at the end of July. Do Vegas. Vegas is fun. I'm excited. I'm gonna be there for a whole week. I have to keep my sister off the slot machine. Well, not the slot machines, but off roulette. Anyway, and blackjack. What are my wishes for the new year? My wishes for the new year is exactly this. Positive energy, growth. That is literally my wishes for the new year. I want nothing but growth. I had so many goals before I turned 30, and I have not brushed up on half of them. I don't even think I got to like a third of the goals that I had before I hit 30. Before I hit 30, I wanted to have a house. I have a car, so I'm good. But I wanted to have a house before I was 30. And I wanted to have kids. I wanted to be married and things of that nature. So what I would definitely say going into 2020, my wishes are at this point is to live a very positive filled, energy filled life and grow and get out my comfort zone, because like I said, being an introvert, it's kind of hard to market. It's kind of hard to work with new people. It's kind of hard to get out of this headspace that I'm in, where I constantly have to deal with people and their nonsense, and not really go out because I'm afraid of dealing with people and their nonsense. But how else am I supposed to market myself? How else am I supposed to grow in the industry that takes you being a face? So I have to break those bounds and still set limitations for myself, still take time to recharge. And that's part of the reason why like I have my sister as my manager, because she knows me better than I know me most of the time. Like she knows when I'm starting to get too drained. She can tell when I'm getting too out of it. And when a lot of the times when I'm depressed, way before I'm even noticing that I'm depressed, because I wait until like I got the telltale signs that I'm depressed. And then she'd be like, nah, bro, go sit down. And she does it a lot. She does it to me, and she's the younger sister, and she does it to me a lot. And I should be the more responsible one, but I'm not. Happens. You'll be at Evo, totally afraid to fly, super excited to go. There's nothing wrong with flying. It's honestly one of the safer methods of travel. You're more likely to possibly get hurt on a bus or a train. So I'm just letting you know. I work for airlines, so I learned these things. You're more liable to get hurt on a train than anything. You'll be fine on an airline, especially in July. July's fine. You're just gonna be crowded with a lot of people in Vegas at that time. Be careful. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah. Now I did have some other questions. Now these ones ain't gonna pop up unfortunately because they're not on here. I got asked what happened and that I'm single from somebody yesterday. She's like, "Why are you single? I thought you were married." A lot of shit happened. We grew apart. I mean, I'm one of those people that once I put my mind to something or if I start growing, I don't slow down. I don't. I get very high paced. I get very fast paced. And if I repeat myself too many times in a relationship and I'm doing everything in my power, my limitations to push you to your goals or to push you to where you need to get to, I tell people all the time, you have to understand. I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to push you to your goals and your ambitions. That is my job as your partner, as your spouse, as your friend. I'm going to push you to your goals. So if you tell me you want to do XYZ, but then you give me every excuse in the book, I'm going to push you towards it. So, and then I put myself on hold a lot. So like I said, I'm one of those people, I'm an empath. Like, no matter where my energy level is, even if it's just like at 30%, I'm going to use my 30% to help push you. But when I start focusing my energy on myself and what I'm doing, and as you could tell, the way I talk, the way I carry myself, I'm very fast paced. I'm very quick. I know what to do to succeed, and I'm not going to wait until tomorrow to do what I can do today. So when I started focusing on myself and focusing on me, we grew apart because he was plateauing and I was doing this. So it's like we were not on the same path. You were here, I'm here, and I'm doing this. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of our generation is that way where we are conditioned to believe that we should make a marriage work regardless of the trials and errors. But if one person is plateauing and the other person's growing and you guys are not growing together like this way, then what's the purpose of holding on? And I mean, like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm hurt. I never wanted to get married, to get separated, or to get divorced. It's never the end goal. It's never the plan. But there's only so much you can do on your end to make a relationship work. It takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. You both got to move together. You know, even if you guys are like two separate entities, you still kind of have to move to the same common goal. And the thing is, like I said, with me, once I start setting goals or start doing things, I move fast paced. I hit my goals quick. And if you want to wait and keep pushing it back and pushing it back, you're going to find yourself lowering yourself as I'm still growing. And it's just like we're not growing to the same common goal. So now it is what it is. We just grew apart. That's the reason why I'm that way. How come I'm not dating? And which they also ask us, how come I'm not dating? And how come I'm not taking the opportunity to start dating? When you invest a lot of your energy into a relationship that you put most of your energy into the other person, you have to go back and reestablish and redefine yourself. So with me, I'm taking this time to reestablish myself, recharge my energy, and put my energy back into loving me. So don't get me wrong, there's things I miss. There's things, I wish I could do. But at the same time, I don't want to exchange energy with the wrong person. I don't want to sit here and be like, all right, cool, you're cool. Let's go ahead, let's hang out. And then turn around and now I'm sharing energy with a dude that all he wanted to do was get some. That's not good because I'm still harboring now your energy. Regardless of not if there's protection there or whatever the case may be, you still take on somebody else's energy when you have sex with them, or you take on somebody's energy when you're around them. And not everybody who has been approaching me has good intent. And with me being demisexual, you're going to have to take me out on a couple of dates. We're going to have to hang out. We're going to have to do a lot of things. It's not going to be just cut and dry and stuff. It's one of those things where you're going to have to sit here and invest time to talk to me, because I'm not going to just want to be like, hey, here you go. Here's the panties. It's been a while. You can have it. No, I have to have some kind of emotional involvement with a person, have sex with them. So sorry, guys, if you think you're going to smash and dash, it's not going to work for me. It's just not who I am as a person. I'm too much of a love bug in a way. I love people and I love being loved. And I'm spoiled as fuck. So it is what it is. So that's part of the reason why I have not dated anybody. And in particular, yeah, I've been talking to someone, but that's just it. We're talking. It's not a definitive yes, no, maybe, hey, what's up? We're in two different spaces. It's another, long distance situation. And neither one of us likes the long distance. So right now we're talking. We're not doing anything. So sorry, gentlemen, if you not find that as a whole, psh, it's not saying that I'm with that person. It's just I'm talking to someone. I am entertaining someone, and I don't like entertaining multiple people. So it is one of those things. Like if I'm entertaining one person, that it is what it is. I'm not trying to entertain multiples. So sorry to all the guys who's been trying. I was like, that's the reason why I tell people, we'll see. You never know. The future has different things. I know what I want. Other people may not know what they want. So it's one of those things. I am definitely looking forward to the new year. I'm looking forward to seeing what this podcast is going to bring. I'm looking forward to all the positive energy I'm going to give out into the world, into the universe. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. If you have not checked out my podcast, if you have not tuned in to anything I've done until today, stop what you're doing. Check out my podcast. I'm serious. Like, I would love your opinion. This is an opportunity to sit down, and I'm opening my messages, meaning I will sit here, not my manager, me. I will personally look at these messages and respond back to you. If you tell me what you think of the podcast, what do you think about these, what we've discussed, the things that we've talked about, you can even say, hey, look, I don't like that your hair is short. I like I said, I'm giving you an opportunity to send me a message, talk to me, and see how things are going. Because at this point in time, I am willing to go ahead and give you an opportunity to talk to me. And I will talk with you, and I will have an engaging conversation. If it's short, believe me, I will get short back. I am one of those people. I do not like minimal conversations. I like deep intellectual conversations. And one of my followers, he gave me a very deep insight when it came to the long distance relationship podcast, which I was very happy and I'm super excited. And I'm going to message him later this week and see how he's doing, because he's going to bring in the new year with his boo, who is actually a long distance relationship. So he said that my podcast helped him have a different perspective on both the female and the male aspect. So I'm happy that I was able to help a little bit, even if it may not be anything like major. I'm super happy that somebody was touched by it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm ranting, I'm on a tangent. Please, please, please check out my podcast on Spotify, on YouTube, and on Podbean. I am going to attach the links on my Twitter. So if you guys are following me on Twitter, which I can't remember my Twitter handle, if my manager can get me my Twitter handle for me to be able to tell people. And as she's sitting here giving me the one moment, uno momento comment, I think it's like at B underscore REIKO. Ha! I remembered it. So my Twitter handle is at B underscore REIKO for Twitter. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm going to share the links to my Podbean so you can listen and catch up to the podcast, as well as catch the live one, which I apparently went over almost an hour at this point. And Spotify, it's on Spotify as well as YouTube, but it's just the audio. And tell me what you guys think. You can send me a message on Twitter. You can send me a message on IG. You can send me a message on my Facebook model page. I do not care. I want people's opinions. Like today was supposed to be that review opinion day, but a lot of you guys just sent me questions. I really didn't get too many when it came down to things of that nature. A lot of it was more personal, which I'm okay with answering personal questions. I have nothing to hide. I'm not a secretive person. I have nothing. I'd rather, be truthful for the most part, but some things you guys don't need to know. But yeah, like certain things I'm willing to share, other things I'm not. I'm gonna be a very honest person. I'm gonna let you know if you shouldn't shoot your shot. Like I'm like, yeah, it ain't what you want to do. But when it comes down to it, I really want you guys' opinion when it came down to my podcast. So if you guys could check it out, I'm going to put all of the stuff on my Twitter. So you guys can go ahead and check it out on Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, and things of that nature. So I want you to do that for me. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. And thank you for tuning into this Sunday Refresher, as well as remember, protect your energy, protect your energy, protect your energy. We are going into a new year, 2020. So it is about being on boss mode, protecting your energy, not giving a care about what nobody says. I'm not about to say, let's not do hot girl summer things. Just protect you. Don't take something and miscrew it for your benefits or your perverseness or whatever. Just protect you, because at the end of the day, you are all you really have. Your body, that's all you really have. So protect you, protect your energy, and protect who you are as a person. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will catch you next week next year in the new year, as we are talking about the new year, new me. Have a good one. Many blessings.